Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down one of the most famous, most moving lectures ever given. It was delivered by a brilliant professor, a loving husband and father, and a man who was facing an absolutely impossible deadline. This is the story of Randy Pausch's last lecture. So, this was the question posed to Carnegie Mellon professor Randy Pausch. It was part of a regular lecture series at the university. But for him, this question wasn't some fun, hypothetical thought experiment. No, he had just gotten a terminal diagnosis, and this was literally his last chance to share everything he'd learned. So, how do you even begin a talk like that? Well, he started by addressing the reality of the situation head-on. He wasn't going to dance around it or pretend it wasn't there. He decided to introduce the elephant in the room. He calmly put his CT scans up on the big screen, showing the tumors that had spread to his liver, and just told everyone his prognosis. He made it super clear that, hey, while he couldn't change the cards he was dealt, he could absolutely decide how to play the hand. And with that incredible, raw honesty, he set the stage for everything that was about to follow. But here's the twist. Right after that, he explicitly said the talk was not about cancer. Nope. Instead, despite this incredibly grim context, the entire lecture was framed as this upbeat, optimistic, and often funny guide to achieving your childhood dreams. And this is the list he laid out for everyone. It's such a fantastic mix of ambitions, from being in zero gravity to becoming a Disney Imagineer. He then walked through each one, not to brag or anything, but to illustrate a much, much deeper lesson he'd learned along the way. Okay, so take his dream of experiencing zero gravity. He hit a wall, a big one. NASA's rules said faculty advisors couldn't fly with their student teams. But instead of just giving up, he looked for a loophole. He noticed they could bring a journalist, so he just resigned his post and applied as one. Problem solved? And this brings us to one of his most powerful ideas. Pausch called these obstacles brick walls, and he argued that they serve a really important purpose. They aren't there to stop you. They're there to stop the other people, the ones who don't want it badly enough. The brick walls are there for you to prove how much you want it. All right, let's move on to his dream of playing in the NFL, because this is where the true purpose of the lecture really starts to come into focus. So he never actually achieved this dream, and yet he considered it one of his most valuable experiences. Why? Why would failure be so important? Because of what he learned from trying and failing. Specifically, what his football coaches taught him about fundamentals, perseverance, and, maybe most importantly, feedback. This was a huge lesson from his coach, a guy named Jim Graham, who just rode him hard every single practice. And what he learned was that tough feedback, that criticism, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a sign that people haven't given up on you yet. It's a sign that they still care. And that entire experience perfectly illustrates the core concept of his entire talk. It's something he called the head fake. It's this powerful idea that we often learn the most important lessons indirectly, while we think we're focused on something else. It works because it kind of bypasses our resistance to being taught. It lets the wisdom sneak in through the back door. So here's the crucial point. When we send our kids out to play sports, we think we're teaching them, football or soccer, but that's the head fake. What we're really teaching them are the deeper lessons, things like teamwork, sportsmanship, and how to get back up after you fail. The sport itself is just the vehicle for the lesson. And once you really get the head fake, the rest of the lecture just clicks into place. You realize that achieving the childhood dreams was actually never the point. The dreams themselves, they were just head fakes for much bigger, more universal life lessons. He shared this little gem, which he actually learned while working at the video game company Electronic Arts. It's such a profound way to look at failure, isn't it? Experience isn't just about success. It's often the direct result of not getting the thing you set out to achieve in the first place. Here's another lesson. This one from a mentor he had at Disney. It was all about having patience and, really, faith in people. Pausch learned to find the best in everyone, even when it's tough, because if you just wait long enough, he said, their good side will almost always come out. I mean, his stories were just packed with this kind of concise, powerful advice on how to live a good life. Show gratitude. Don't complain. Be prepared. Own your mistakes. And maybe the biggest one of all, make your life about helping other people, not just yourself. So, as the lecture started to draw to its incredibly powerful conclusion, Pausch got ready to reveal the final and most important head fake of the entire night. So, he asks the audience, "Did you figure out the head fake?" It wasn't just about childhood dreams, was it? And then he revealed it. The whole talk, with all its fun stories about zero gravity and Disney and Captain Kirk, it wasn't really a manual for achieving your goals. It was a guide to living your life with integrity, with optimism, and with resilience. And if you do that, he argued, the dreams, well, they'll pretty much take care of themselves. But then, just when everyone thought they understood, he revealed there was one more layer, the ultimate purpose of the entire hour, the real reason he was standing on that stage. The entire lecture, all the stories, all the lessons, all the humor, and all that wisdom, it was never really for the audience in that room. It was a message in a bottle for the 3 young children he was about to leave behind. He knew he wasn't going to be there to teach them these things himself, so he put it on tape for them. The talk wasn't for us, it was for his kids.